Still Point 12:10. A pause in the middle of your week. A breath in the middle of your day. A return to what matters most. Each still point unfolds in 3 gentle movements. A 7 to 10 minute meditation to settle the body and the breath. A 15 to 20 minute reflection to open the heart and mind. And a 5-minute moment of thankfulness to carry with you into the rest of your day. You're invited to stay for the whole journey or to join us for just one part. There's no right nor wrong way to be here, only your way. This is your time to breathe, to reset and to rise. I'm Sharon Campbell-Rayment, and this week we enter the week of prayer, not as a time to add more words, but as an invitation to let prayer reshape how we live. Today's still point begins with a gentle truth. Peace does not begin when the world becomes calm. Peace begins when I soften my reaction. We take our guidance from the prayer attributed to St. Francis of Assisi. Make me an instrument of your peace. This is not a prayer for the world alone. It is a prayer for the heart. So, before we move outward, we begin inward. Take a moment to notice your body and your breath. You don't need to change anything yet. Just notice. Notice your breath. Notice your shoulders. Notice your jaw. Notice where you might be holding tension without realizing it. It feels comfortable. Just let your shoulders drop slightly and let your breath lengthen just a wee bit. Nothing needs to be solved here. This is not effort. This is permission. Jesus has said to his disciples, "Peace I have for you, my peace I give to you. I do not give to you as the world gives." The peace that Jesus offers is not fragile. It's not depend on circumstances improving. It does not require others to behave differently. The world's peace is conditional. Jesus' peace is formational, and it forms us from the inside out. St. Francis understood this deeply. He lived in a world that marked by violence and fear and power struggles, and yet he chose a different way. Francis practiced inner discernment. He laid down not only possessions, but emotional weapons. The need to defend, the urge to retaliate, the habit of reacting. Francis believed peace was not something you argued for, it was something you became. We practice this week a neuromindset shift practice called fogging. Fogging is not avoidance, fogging is not denial, fogging is not passivity. Fogging is the gentle softening of emotional impact. Imagine a fog settling over a landscape. The landscape didn't disappear, but the sharp edges soften, the urgency eases, the grip loosens, and fogging creates space between what happens and how we respond. This space is where peace grows. Now, bring to mind a certain or recent moment of mild tension. Not something overwhelming, just something ordinary. A comment that stayed with you. A conversation that tightened your chest. A moment when you felt misunderstood. Do not replay the story. Simply notice where it lives in your body. Now, Imagine a soft fog gently surrounding that moment. You are still aware, but less entangled. Silently say to yourself, I do not need to sharpen this. I can soften instead. Now take one slow breath and let that fog remain. Peace is rarely tested in dramatic moments. Peace is tested at the kitchen table, in tired conversations, in traffic, in emails and texts, in the way we replay things afterwards. St. Francis practiced peace in the ordinary. He chose gentleness where others chose force. He chose humility where others chose control. He chose presence where others chose reaction. Peace for Francis was not an idea. It was a way of being in the world. Now, this week, I'd like to ask you to notice one moment when you feel the urge to react. And when you do, I'd like you to pause and breathe and soften your tone, not to avoid the truth, but to offer it with peace. Peace often begins in how we speak. Notice where the world invites you to escalate. News, social media, group conversations, and ask quietly, is peace served by my reaction? Sometimes peace looks like choosing not to respond. Pay attention now to your inner voice and soften towards yourself. When it becomes a sharp or critical practice, fogging there too. Peace begins when we soften the way we speak to ourselves and become the instrument. The prayer of St. Francis is not meant to be admired, it's meant to be inhabited. Where there is tension in me, may peace arise. Where there is fear in me, may trust grow. Where there is reactivity in me, may gentleness take root. Peace does not begin with somewhere else. It begins here, in this breath, in this response, in this moment. Now, take one final breath and just pause and think about a moment that you're grateful for. It doesn't have to be dramatic or complicated. Just a moment in which you felt gratitude, appreciation, hopefulness. Just let that come to the surface and sit with that for just a few minutes, just even a few moments. And let your body settle again. Let your heart soften. You can even put your hand over your heart to help with that coherence of mind and body and heart. Repeat quietly, soft heart, clear mind, sacred peace. And my friends, as I close, if this has been meaningful for you, if this has helped you in any little way, please be sure to share it with a friend who might need just a moment to pause and reset and breathe and rise as you did. May peace form within you. May your reaction soften. May your presence become a prayer. Thank you for joining me and sharing in this still point moment. And may you walk slowly. May you listen deeply, speak gently, and have an open heart to receive the world and have an big old smile. Thank you for sharing again. It is offered to you in peace. Consider sharing this again with someone who needs a pause this week. Benek Jarurt, God's blessing be with you this day and forevermore.